Hey friends, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about the psychology of why people take the actions that they do, simple shifts to be more influential on social media, even if you don't consider yourself an influencer type. So people respond to your invitations to do things, and some practical action items to increase anybody's response rates, regardless of um, really how long you've been doing social media. And I'm excited about it. So we're not, when we talk about influence, I'm not talking about being an influencer, like taking duck face selfies and having thousands and thousands and thousands of followers or anything like that. I'm talking about how to communicate in a way that that captures attention, but also invites people to move and to do things and to change. And each of us are in the influence business, right? We want to help people solve their problems. So they actually have to listen to our advice on how to solve problems. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the research on influence by a psychologist named Robert Cialdini. And I'm going to walk through how this looks on social media for network marketing. And the first overarching principle before I get into the actual research is once you shift the purpose of your social media from being about your edification to being about being uplifting, helpful, and encouraging to others, which I think is really, really important. So we're going to go through the 6 principles of influence. Okay, so principle number 1 is reciprocity. And this is the idea that when someone does something for us, we want to do something for them. So if you invite me over to your home for dinner, I will want to bring something to kind of offset that, or invite you to my place for dinner, right? Like kind of this internal balancing of I don't know if debt is the right word, but like just this balance in the relationship. You give me something, I give you something back, right? So the relationship is balanced. So we have an internal tendency to do that. And so think about how can you use reciprocity? Well, here's an idea, and these are all specific to social media. There's other ways you can do this in your communication, but would you like other people to share your posts? Maybe share their posts. They're going to be more likely to share your posts if you're someone that shares their posts. Leave comments for others, and they are more likely to do the same for you. Compliment others, they're more likely to compliment you, right? Like that idea of reciprocity is going to help you to be more influential. I have a friend who a long time ago had me on her show, like a Facebook Live show, not a podcast. So I always think like, how can I repay that publicity for her? And that's a way that we have influence with each other. Principle number 2 is scarcity. People start paying attention to things when the supply shrinks. They don't want to miss out. And so a good way to do this is give an honest inventory about what you have available. So let's say you want people to try a specific product. Instead of saying, who wants to try this product, try saying something like, this week, my goal is to have 3 people try this product. Let me know if you would like to be one of those 3 people, since I have 780 Facebook friends. And so you've created a little scarcity just by being truthful. Now, the problem that most people have with scarcity is they don't have a goal to begin with. More is better. The concept of more is better is actually really harmful for your business, because you can't communicate with honesty and transparency if you don't have any goals for yourself. So every time you're going to do an event of some sort, try to have a goal attached to it. I'm hosting an event and my goal is to have 10 people there. let me know if you like the details and how you can become one of those 10 people so that you don't miss out. And that would be honest, right? An honest representation of scarcity. Number 3 is authority. People pay more attention to people in authority. And this is tricky, especially if you're networking, because a lot of people try to have authority by saying, like, this is my rank. The problem is that doesn't hold authority in the outside world. It only holds authority inside your company. And so a better thing, right? Authority, credibility is tricky because when you say something great about yourself, even if it's true, it comes across as braggy, right? If someone else says it, that's great, but you're not going to be like other people are not saying that. So even just a simple statement like, I have been in this business for X amount of time will increase your authority and credibility with people outside of your market. The 4th principle of influence is consistency. Now, this isn't that people listen to people who are consistent, although that's true as well. This principle states that people are more likely to do things that are in alignment with previous commitments that they've made in the past. So someone who comments on one post is more likely to comment on other posts. They get in the habit of being someone who engages with you. So this is why when we teach social media, we invite people to have just normal conversation starters, even if it's something like, what's the best juicing recipe? As people get used to engaging with you, they start to see themselves as someone who engages with you. So if they respond to that, they're just psychologically more likely to respond to maybe what we talked about earlier. I'm trying to have 3 new people try this particular product. Let me know if you'd like to be one of them. They're much more likely to respond to that if they've been responding to other things that you're doing. So even if you are doing something like, hey, let me know if you'd like details on this ebook, maybe like a little guide that you made, they're more likely to respond to a bigger invitation, like, would you like to come to this event? The 5th principle of influence is liking. And people are more willing to be influenced by people they like. There's 2 ways to get people to like us, and it's not by being awesome. People don't care how awesome we are. They care how awesome they are. And so there's a couple, the 2 biggest ways to increase liking is to have things in common with people, even if it's as simple as we both like potato chips. And the other way is to compliment people. I really like blah, blah, blah about what you're doing. These 2 things are the most authentic and genuine way to create liking. Now, do not compliment people in a non-genuine way, and do not fabricate things that you don't actually have in common with them. But it's really, really simple to be able to do this. And so in order to create liking, what we recommend for our clients is on their about section is to give like their interests outside of network marketing. Because if I like tacos, like we use favorite foods as an example, I like tacos, other people that like tacos are automatically gonna be like, I like that person. They have great taste in food. And it creates some commonality. If I just meet someone for the first time, so I'll get like friend requests because of my job, or just in general, I'll get friend requests. One of the first things that I'll do is I'll look at their profile, I'll accept their request and look at their profile and just find one thing that I like about their profile. If I can't find anything I like about their profile, I shouldn't accept the friend request. But I'll find one thing. Like I remember one girl, her name is Jennifer. She liked hockey and I like hockey. And so I said, hey, that's really cool. I saw that you like hockey. I like hockey too. So first I'm complimenting her for liking hockey and then we have that in common. So really, really cool. Or even it's just like, I like that painting that you put, or I like that meme, it cracked me up, right? That's a compliment and it's going to increase liking while making people feel really, really good. The sixth principle of influence is consensus. And this is the idea that most people don't like to take risks or enter into uncertain situations. As much as we would love to be proud of ourselves for being unique and trailblazers, intuitively, humans are pack people. We want to uh, we want to do things that are where there's safety in numbers, right? There's safety in the pack. And so whenever we're doing things like hosting a webinar, hosting an in-person event, a resource, I see a lot of people that say, hey, I have this thing, DM me if you'd like to do it. And you're killing the consensus and the consistency. Here's why, right? Even if they do DM you, first of all, that's more work for them to actually switch to another app and DM you. But what happens is even if they do DM you, no one knows about it. And so the first follower is typically the hardest to get. Once you have 2 or 3 or 4 people that respond, other people pay attention to what are they responding to? Oh my gosh, all these people are going. I want in on this too. And so switch that to something like, if you want the details on this, just write details and I'll give them to you. And then what happens is you get details, 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 details. Even if there's only 3 or 4, that's going to create a little bit more traction. And you're going to have a few people that say, hey, here's like, I want this too. One of the posts that we use that works, it's really fun and it works well. So we'll do webinars typically once a month, and we'll get a few people, 100 people that register. And typically what we do right after that webinar is we will just take a screenshot of the webinar and say, we had X amount of people show up live, and here were their biggest takeaways. And if you want this replay, let us know and we'll make sure we get it to you. And those people, right, that's a consensus thing. They're like, oh, 50 people showed up to this and they were happy. This is now safe. I'm not going to be risking my time on something that's not worthy. And we got, I don't know, 20 or 30 more people decide just from that consensus post. So if, let's say you do an event and it's recorded or something, you could just say, hey, take a picture of the people who attended, with permission, let them know, okay, I'm gonna take a picture now, guys. And you can post that and say, we had a really cool webinar with these 6 people last night, and we covered this and this and this, and they really liked it. So if you would like a recording, let me know, and I'll be glad to send it to you. And that's gonna get a little bit more traction, and it'll be safer for them to work. So these are the principles of influence: reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. And I really hope this sheds some light for you on why people interact with certain people. What I love about this is that we can control our influence way more than we think, right? Just by understanding what helps people to move and keep recalibrating a little bit. So I'm confident this will make your time spent connecting with people more enjoyable, more effective, and just overall, I think it'll help you to have a better life. So I hope this was helpful and encouraging to you. And we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.